Hi, you guys. Welcome to. I do not know what episode this is, but we're going to get right into it. So, welcome to Authentically Poochie, where I discuss certain things that bother me, annoy me, or just grinds my gears in Raleigh, North Carolina. And for those of you who are just joining, I'm originally from South Carolina, so not too much, but there is a major difference in states clearly. And today we're going to be discussing the homeless people in Raleigh. Now, I hate seeing it, and I know it's everywhere, but I've never seen it this bad. And I'm like 45 minutes outside of Charleston, and Charleston ain't even as bad as South Carolina. So when we moved up here, you see a lot of people like on the side of the road, with signs, with like, asking for money, asking for food, anything that they can do to actually survive through the day. But I did not realize it was this bad. Like the homeless people here are a different ball game to me. Like it's on every dang on corner. Like every light you stop at, you're going to see a homeless person with a sign. Every place you go, you're going to see a homeless person with a sign. You will see them outside of restaurants. You will see them outside of the gas stations. Like it is a lot. Like I know LA and Georgia and New York are like one of the bigger states that has like a lot of homeless people, of people going out there trying to make it, them going out there, trying to be like a celebrity, a star, a rapper, whatever they're trying to do or whatever. Like those are the three main states. But I did not know North Carolina had like all of this going on. And a lot of the beggars from what I see are kind of like drug addicts, you can tell. It's so crazy, like in Raleigh, I never, you see it sometimes or whatever in Charleston, but it's not like it. Here we got a freaking Spider-Man. We got a Batman. Mm-hmm. We got I think that was a Superman one time I think I saw. And it's just so many characters in Raleigh. And all of these people are homeless, beggars on the side of the road in costume, doing a full scene or whatever. Of course, nothing like the actual movie itself, but like these people are really like homeless and like they're begging, and it's like on every corner. And I just did not know that it was that bad here. And we have, like, from what I've seen, a few like shelters that I've passed, and I've seen people there and stuff like that, and people are trying to help them out, they give them money and stuff like that, but it's a lot. Sometimes it's overwhelming, like how many is on every corner. Like you got people over here like doing acts and stuff, and I'm not even talking about like Batman or Superman. I'm talking about like people like doing like a whole show with like mannequins and stuff like that. Like it's crazy. Like you see people doing like different type of performances, and I'm just like, golly. And this is in Raleigh. I don't know if all of North Carolina has like this major thing, but it is a lot of them. And I'm just like, how? How? And I will say this. With me coming to Raleigh, I do enjoy living in Raleigh. I do enjoy North Carolina as a whole. It brings a whole different experience than what we had in South Carolina. It has more opportunities, more abilities to make money. There's more jobs. There's now I will say this, the job pool is trash. Like, and I think that's just all over. I don't just, ball it down to it just being Raleigh, North Carolina. I think it's all over. Like nobody is hiring anywhere. Like they're posting a job just to say that they posted it. I don't think these people are actually hiring anybody, because if they are hiring, they're hiring internally. They're not hiring for people who are actually trying to switch, into a different company and stuff like that. These jobs are hiring internally, and they're posting it externally or whatever, but they're actually not hiring anyone on the outside. When I say the job pool is shitty, it is shitty. And it's like I said, it's not just Raleigh, it's all over. And I'm like, for y'all to say y'all raised minimum wage, y'all did all these things and stuff like that, why the hell y'all not hiring people? This me at this point in life, I'm like, I got a bachelor's degree, and now y'all want masters. This me, who the hell about to pay all this school debt to get all of these things or whatever? So I'm just like, I just don't understand. But there is a lot of opportunities in Raleigh, North Carolina for you to make money, for you to, and I'm not saying like just like me, I do delivery services on the side and stuff like that. So that's between like GoPuff and VHO and um DoorDash and whatever. I haven't done DoorDash in months or whatever because they don't pay shit. But there are a lot of other opportunities or whatever that you can make money. And I just feel like a lot of the homeless people, beggars, whatever you want to call it, they don't want to work. Like they don't want to work. And I'm just like, how much money do y'all make just standing on the street asking people for money and scorching hot at it's like 1,000 fucking degrees outside. But I don't even like going outside my damn door. I said, as you can tell, I'm a plus size girl. And stepping outside my door just to do any fucking thing, baby, I sweat. And I'm not a big sweater. But this damn summer heat here is no games. So them standing outside in costumes and, long clothes and, just doing a whole scene or doing performances with little mannequins and whatever the hell or whatever. It's hot. This means how much money do y'all fucking make just to stand outside and ask for money until like midday? Y'all be out there early too. It don't even be like y'all don't be out there like 10, 11 o'clock. Y'all boys be out there at 6 o'clock, women and men. I done seen it to where, and this is the part that pisses me off. When I see they got their fucking children out there in that damn heat, it is too fucking hot. And I don't see not a near bit of a goddamn Gatorade, water, or nothing around y'all. Y'all may have a bucket or something right there on the side for these kids to sit on and stuff like that. But y'all really don't, y'all really, really, really don't have nothing for these kids out there. And I know that's to pull at, the other, people's heartstrings, like, oh, well, she's out there with her kids and da-da-da-da-da. Fuck that. I'm pissed off. I'm not gonna give you no money. I ain't gonna lie. Baby, robbing Peter to pay Paul over here. So I'm not gonna give you no money, but I'm gonna be pissed off or whatever at the fact that you standing there with these fucking little ass kids trying to pull, at the heartstrings of people who are walking into Walmart, walking into grocery stores, walking into, places or whatever, or just pulling up, at the light and you see these kids sitting that thing. And I'm like, if you having this much of a problem and you got your kids on the street, baby, y'all need to go ahead and call CPS. Y'all need to go ahead and call DSS and tell them go ahead and come get them or whatever. I understand. Y'all need to get fixed because y'all don't need to be having kids. If you can't manage to take care of yourself, how the hell you gonna take care of 2-3 kids? How? Like, I don't understand that. And I'm like, and these are not like adult kids, medium-sized toddlers, these are toddlers. These are not like teenagers, preteens, or something like that. These are freaking toddlers. These are babies. And y'all got them out there in this heat. Them turn out to have a fucking heat stroke. Standing out there in that damn heat with y'all because y'all trying to collect money or sitting outside of the Walmart or what's that damn store I just been to the other day? Aldi and stuff or whatever. Littles. Like, come on now. Like, the homeless situation here is a lot. Like, I haven't seen nothing like that since I went to Georgia. But they on every damn corner. And I'm like, what? I really want to know sometimes what got them there. Like, what put you in that position to say, I'm going to stand out here versus going to a job. And I know a lot of it is due to addiction to a certain drug and you want the fast money so you can get the drug that day versus you having to wait for a paycheck and stuff like that. But those who don't have an addiction or those who don't have, now I know a lot of them, when I did go volunteer at a shelter or whatever. Let me tell you something. But yeah, so, excuse me. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, I know, those who have addictions and stuff like that, they are out here because they're trying to get that fast money so they can go ahead and, or those who may have like a certain type of record. I know it is kind of hard for you guys to work, get a job and stuff like that. But this is where I believe, and I know it's going to take more than just talking, but this is where I believe that they need to create jobs for those who have certain things on their records that, they can't get a job for. And so I'm just like, I don't understand why those things are not happening. I don't understand why they're not giving them opportunities, for somebody who just, and I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but I'm saying like somebody who supposedly was in jail for murder or something like that, or somebody who's in jail for being a pedophile. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers. But you got released if you didn't get like a life term, 30-year sentence. You got released, you're on the sex registry and stuff like that. Why not give them jobs at like, of course, to where they're not exposed to like, like children, people and stuff like that, but you're doing jobs to where like I don't know, like maybe garbage disposal, like sanitary. And I'm not talking about driving a truck. I'm talking about those who are actually working at the plant or whatever, and like they're separating it off the conveyor belt or something like that or whatever, or a junkyard or something like that, like certain programs to where this is where you strictly can work, where we know they will hire you and you're getting some sort of a paycheck, so you're able to maintain, because it is kind of hard for, well, not kind of hard, but it's hard for them to come from jail and actually get a job or whatever. Like, of course, they can't work at Burger King, they can't work at McDonald's, they can't work at any of those jobs because children are around, or people come in and out. But things to where they can actually work and not really be, the job is basically in and out. I don't care if you just building boxes or whatever. There are so many job opportunities. You can work at a goddamn steel plant. You can work at, one of those wood mills. Those are, like job. I just feel like a lot of opportunities, a lot of like things should be open to those who have those records. I mean, I don't think it's fair, of course, or whatever, because of their record and what they've done and stuff like that. But once they serve their time, you know, I feel in a sense that they should be offered certain opportunities. The same way they go to jail and they have to, they do like idle jobs or whatever to get through the day, whether it's sweeping, cleaning, serving, washing, whatever, it should still be offered to them there once they get out or whatever, because it's not going to be the same as them trying to say, okay, I'm just going to go in and turn my application in. They run the background, it's going to automatically show what they did or whatever, and they're not going to get that opportunity. So I feel like there should be certain programs or certain situations where they're able to come out, be placed in, and I'm not saying like, how do you say it? I'm not saying in a sense of, well, yeah and no, but they're being placed in like certain homes, or not homes, but like they have like a building or something that's strictly for those people, to where they can lay their head and stuff like that. Like they could pay rent and stuff. Of course, they wouldn't pay what we would probably pay, but they would pay rent and stuff like that. They have an actual job that's dedicated. Like that job is specifically dedicated for situations like that or whatever, to where they're not being exposed to like other people, children, families, and stuff like that. They're just going to work. They're coming home. They may get some food or something like that, but these are things that are set in place for them, so they're not homeless and just running amok and just standing on the side of the road and asking for money and stuff like that. The homeless out here is scary. Like, of course, nobody has never attacked or whatever, but you just look around at every corner, at every light, at almost every grocery store. There are homeless people just sitting outside. You can't monitor or bring them in to be like, oh, you can't stay here. They're just gonna come back. You ride through Raleigh, and in the woods, you see a whole freaking setup. Tents, grocery carts, clothes, like anything that you could think a homeless person would probably carry with them, backpacks, bags, it's in that woods. They're sleeping in it, like they're around it. It's like a group of them. They done broke it up like 3-4 times, where it's like they done created a whole freaking nest out there with like 10, 20 of them and stuff like that. And they still out there. They just find somewhere else to go. And you look in those areas, their stuff are still remaining there. It's like just packed with a bunch of stuff. Like they can't come back and get it, or if they can come back and get it, they'll come and get it later. But it's just like you can see into the woods where these people are staying at. You can see into the woods where these people are actually like laying their head. And I'm like, these people have kids with them. And I'm like, y'all don't think that's weird? Y'all don't think that, you know, kids should not be living in the damn woods? Kids should not be sitting on a corner with them or at a grocery store, sitting outside a store with these people in this heat or in the cold. It's like there should be certain circumstances, and I'm not just talking about for me. I'm talking about for as a whole. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not saying that somebody cannot get their shit together and actually become like a better mom, a better father, or nothing like that. What I'm saying is your kids don't need to be limited to those circumstances because that's the life you chose or whatever. I understand things happen, but this is where DSS, CPS, whatever you guys want to call it in y'all state, needs to step in and be like, look here, if you don't get your stuff together, we're going to go ahead and have to get them with us until you can figure it out. But obviously you having these 2-3 kids with you is not helping you or whatever. It's just bringing you more down because you can't afford to support them and yourself or whatever. And so I'm just always looking in amazement like, y'all really, I know at some point in life throughout the day, there's some type of official, whether it's an officer, somebody who works in DSS, CPS or whatever, somebody who works along the lines of, human thing, like who sees that and is just like, oh, they with their mom, they're fine. You gonna mean to tell me you're gonna continue to drive? You gonna continue to be like, oh yeah, that's okay for them to have their kids outside in the scorching heat? No, baby, I'm gonna be like, look, I'm gonna go ahead and have to take them from you. Like, we can go ahead and start a case for you, but where do you stay? What do you do? How are these kids being supported? Do you see how they're dressed? Do you see how they look? Their hair hasn't looked like it has been combed in days. It looked like they haven't taken a bath in forever. Like, how are you guys getting around? Where are you going? Or whatever. What is your goal? Like, what are you standing on the side of the road for? And if I was that person, whether I'll be the officer, the DSS, worker or something like that, the social worker, I would have to ask, like, okay, so are you really homeless? Like, is this really your lifestyle? And if you say, yeah, baby, they gotta come with me. They gotta come with me. It's not the fact that I want to separate families, but I just feel like it's the need of this for the greater good. Your kids cannot be exposed to that type of stuff. They didn't ask for that. They didn't ask to be out here standing in the heat, twiddling their thumbs or playing with a toy or doing something because you can't make ends meet. But if you love your kids just as much as you say you do and you're trying to fight for them, then after we go ahead and remove them from your custody for the time being, baby, this is the time for you to hit the ground running, trying to figure out what you're going to do with your life, trying to figure out, like, okay, how can I get my kids back? You got to start somewhere. And it's not the fact that we think that you don't love your kids. We know you love your kids. We know that you want them near you. But what you're doing right now is not helping them at all. You can barely help yourself. How can you feed them and yourself if you're standing outside the store? Now, don't get me wrong. I've given money when I first got up here because it was so overwhelming. Like, oh my God, there's so much homeless people or whatever. So I'm passing out money, baby. I'm robbing Peter to pay for my damn self. But I was like, look here. It'll help somebody. I don't care if it was just like $10, $5, $20. Hey, I'm going to try to give it as long as I got it. But it's just after a while, you be like, you still out here? Oh no, you just don't want to do it. And what's so crazy, this is what made me record this video, and I'm not gonna lie. I was standing there on Capitol, not standing there, but I was driving on Capitol, stopped at the light right there in front of, I think that's Cookout, the Popeyes across the street, and then like Mayflower and all that stuff or whatever. It was a black guy standing there. Tall, clothes was bummy or whatever. Shirt looked, tore up kind of, stains on it. Same thing with the pants. The shoes were old. He had drinks on the ground and stuff like that. Like, he done ran to the store a few times to get him something to drink, maybe something to eat. But what made me stop, and I'm not saying all homeless people like this, but what made me stop giving money is as I'm sitting at the light, I just happened to glance over, and this man pulled out a wad of cash out his fucking pocket. And he was adding money to the wad that I guess the last people who stopped at the light gave him. Like, he tried to turn around and like kind of try to tuck it under his shirt to add it. And I looked and I was like, this motherfucker rich as hell. Now I ain't gonna say rich, but this motherfucker got bread and you out here standing on the corner. This fucker shoved it back in his pocket so fast. Baby, one thing about these eyes, bitch, I noticed that green. Huh. That money don't never escape me. And I noticed that motherfucker. And I said, these niggas be standing out here for hours in the sun, in the heat, and make money. I'm like, baby, and like I said, I don't know if that was just a bunch of ones, fives, tens, 20s. I don't know. But the fact that it was a wad, it wasn't like it was a couple of dollars, like he's just counting like this. This nigga had it balled up. Like, you might as well wrap a rubber band about that bitch and just go about your business. And when I saw that, I said, baby, y'all will never get $1 from me again. And I stood on that. I ain't gave $1 in about eight months. I'm not lying to you, because I'm like, y'all make bank standing on this street corner, and you can't really separate who needs it versus who doesn't. And I'm just not going to waste my time even entertaining the idea of giving anybody any more money that I work my ass off for. What you make in a day or whatever, I probably got to wait a whole week or two to get this shit. Like, no. No, 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 no. I'm not doing that. So I stopped giving money. But I just feel like Raleigh has to do a lot more cleaning up. Besides the debris and stuff like that that bees on the side of the road from these car accidents and from just people having trash or the homeless leaving their stuff around, y'all got to do a lot of cleanup as far as when it comes to like just homeless people as a whole, children being out there in these streets or whatever, like the homeless people just being out here or whatever, just begging and stuff. Like, it has to be a major change, because this will never work. This city is going to get corroded with homeless people. And this means, I don't know what the fuck you coming here for. What, I'm not saying that Raleigh isn't a great place, because it is. But this is not like one of those things. Baby, you could have gone to Charlotte. You could have gone to Georgia, California, New York, something like that. Like, it's a lot of y'all here. And I'm trying to figure out what happened. But that's the end of my story. And this is the end of my episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye.